Hi everyone and welcome back to Alex Lacas Makes Food. I want to kick off the summer by doing this new mini-series on 10-minute meals inspired by Gordon Ramsay. And I'm going to start off this mini-series by doing one of my favorite summer dish, which is a pasta with pesto alla genovese. Alright, so pasta with pesto alla genovese. Starting now.
Yep.
Alright, 10 minutes. So first off, we're going to do, I feel like I already cheated, but let's drop our pasta. Pasta's going to cook for exactly 9 minutes. I'm going to do about 1 cup of pasta per person, so 2 cups. I'm feeding 2 people today. 1 cup. And another cup. Right here. Alright, I already forgot one thing. Salt. Kosher salt. This is about 1 gallon of water. I'm going to do like 6 tablespoons. And then I'm going to cover it up so it gets back up to a boil as fast as possible. Now that we have the pasta going, I'm going to get this cast iron pan on to high heat, medium high heat, for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to roast some cherry tomatoes in there later. But now let's focus on our sauce. This is a very, very exciting pesto that's going to be made mostly with basil. As you know, this is this amazingly large basil that I got from the market, and I'm going to basically bundle same size leaves-ish together so that I can slice them up and then turn them into pesto. So I'm doing a very traditional way today. I'm going to do with the mortar and pestle. And I think if you don't have a mortar and pestle, Quarantine 2020 should get you a mortar and pestle, and you should spend your summer making delicious pesto in your mortar and pestle. This is already like, it should do about the equivalent of like a grocery store bunch. So my bunches are huge.
That's what she said.
But this is already back up to boil perfect. So here that I have all this now, I'm gonna do a chiffonade. What I'm gonna do is slice up the basil in little ribbons. Basically, that's what chiffonade means. And by doing that, it's gonna help me when I pound them in my mortar and pestle. What's gonna happen next is that the ribbons are gonna stay intact after they're bruised in the mortar and pestle. And those ribbons are basically gonna surround the noodles once the noodles are cooked. So get a couple really nice big leaves, roll them up just like you're making an old cigarette, you know, as one does. Yeah. And then slice them up. You don't need to go paper thin, nor do I have time to go paper thin. That's just getting sliced as fast as possible. More leaves. And this is like precisely why you want to use big basil and why I was just walking around in circles at the farmer's market looking for the biggest basil, because the biggest leaves you'll find the easiest it'll be to slice them up like that. And the faster you'll get an amazing pesto. So, almost there with that. I like to do my pesto in steps. I'm going to start with the leaves of basil, but normally I would start with toasting my nuts. Today I already have toasted nuts. That's me cheating already for a second time within the first minute. Oh shit. 6.5 minutes left.
What did you toast?
Toast some pine nuts. Traditionally,
Oh wait, who toasted those?
you did it. Yeah. So first off, in my mortar and pestle is my basil going. With a little bit of salt. Why I'm putting a little salt is because that's going to help breaking it down. Oh, also, if you like your neighbors, put a little towel under there. And what I'm trying to do here is not make a paste. All that I want to do is bruise every single leaf so the flavor comes out. You're not trying to make a paste, just remember that. No paste, just some really nice bruising. Alright, now I have this really fabulous unrefined olive oil from Sicily that was sent to me by the Sour Organics. And I'm going to do about 1 cup in here. So as soon as the basil is hit like this, you want to immediately put it in the olive oil. Why? So it doesn't turn black. Okay, so right in the olive oil, mix it up a little bit, and then we'll move it on. Moving on to more basil. Whew, we're almost halfway already. forget a little salt. It's gonna help draw moisture and making it easier.
Halfway timer.
Right halfway. Basil in here. Make sure it's covered in your oil. And last, this is the basil that I started with. It's like so much nicer than the last stuff. A little salt. And sweet. All right, so let's see. Pesto to me is basically thinking about the primary thing being an herb, and you want to basically season that herb with some delicious peppery olive oil, some nutty toasted nuts, and then umami, parmesan, garlic, salt, and pepper.
Hold on.
Are we overheating?
I think it's okay.
Are you filming?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So last of the basil, right in here. And I'm still gonna need my more pesto. The only place where parmesan can go wrong, the only place where pesto can go wrong is if you do too much garlic. So I'm gonna do just half of a clove. And that's when you really, really want to make sure that is pounded very thoroughly. And that's where the salt's gonna help. All right, here it is that. 1 clove of pounded garlic. Right up in here. Next, nuts. Same. Up in here, I would say 2 tablespoons of nuts. This, you don't need any salt, and you just pound them just as much as you like. For me, I like them to be some coarse, some full, and some almost into a paste. This is great. This is next. All right, 3 minutes left, and my pesto is finished. But the only thing missing in my pesto, I'm gonna put a little parmesan. That is what we got. Our pesto going away. All right. Next up, I have a couple things I want to cook. With the noodles, I want to cook some green beans. And in this cast iron pan here, I'm gonna do some tomatoes, some roasted cherry tomatoes. So I'm gonna do just a little bit of olive oil. And then I'm gonna make sure I have these already washed tomatoes. Oh my god, this is when it gets really fun. I already washed tomatoes that I haven't stemmed because I thought that was cheating too much. Oh my god.
These are Sungolds, right?
Sungold tomatoes. So you don't need too many for that. Just a handful. It's going to be a nice brightness that you're going to put on top of the pasta. These are super acidic and delicious. Alright, I can smell that olive oil getting hot right now. And that's about enough. Tomatoes going in my hot pan. Woo! And I don't want to touch those tomatoes. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, lower the heat to about medium heat, and let them get some color on this one side. Alright, next step. In my pasta, traditionally Genovese, which is sort of a northern, western part of Italy, it's actually a big port. In the pasta, normally there's potatoes and green beans. I didn't think I was going to make it with potatoes, so I'm just going to put some green beans. And what's so fabulous about this is I'll cook my green beans with my penne in the same water. There's about 30 seconds left for my pasta to cook. Cut this on a big bias, about the same shape as the pasta. Take it up, and we'll put it in our pasta water. Right in here. Cooking for 30 seconds. Perfect. Alright, so I was saying the last thing that's missing in my pesto is some parmesan. Oh, it's in the fridge. Beautiful parmesan. Straight into my pesto. And you don't need to go crazy for that. You don't want it just tastes like cheese, but you want it to basically bring some umami, some saltiness to those delicious flavors you already have. Alright, so that's getting messy. I can't believe I made this much pesto this quickly. And ideally I would freshen up with some lemon zest. 27 seconds. Ooh, okay. Look at that, I already have a strainer in the sink. Somebody well trained. Pasta's going in here with the green beans. Oh, I forgot to save some pasta water. So ideally I would say, save some pasta water. Clearly not today. And that is going in my pan. This is just a cold pan. Turn this one off. 10 minutes. Oh, we're almost there. So I have this here. This is a lot. Beautiful. I'm going to turn these tomatoes off. And these, as you see, they're starting to pop open. They're finished. I'm going to get a little vessel. Just gently place them in here, and I've got these beautiful blistered Sungold tomatoes. All right, so next into this pot here, I would have saved about 1 cup of pasta water, but I don't have that anymore. So I'm gonna do a splash of fresh water. The reason why I would have used pasta water is basically because we're not cooking the sauce, we need as much gluten as possible, and in the pasta water there is gluten, but not anymore. So I would start with the pesto. You never want to heat up the sauce. You never want to cook those beautiful bruised herbs and parmesan that's in there. You're just gonna slowly mix everything together so that the parmesan and the olive oil and the water that you have all gets emulsified together and creates this just really, really beautiful, punctuous pasta sauce that is just...
Did you say punctuous?
Punctuous.
Punctuous?
It's punctuation with punctuation.
Oh, cool.
All right. This is quite a mess. Let's taste. A little bit more pesto, a little bit more water, and a little bit more flipping. The reason why I didn't do it in the pot is because pesto like that needs to be worked by hand. So you take the time to emulsify it with olive oil. And now it's looking better. Oops. Perfect. Just finishing up with some lemon juice. Very last thing, lemon juice, because you do not want to put the lemon juice ahead, because that will turn your basil black and gross that you've worked so hard for. All right, let's take a nice spoon.
Wow.
And ring light's coming with. Look at this. Summer in a pan. Make sure everyone gets a nice amount of sauce, nice amount of green beans, and I'm gonna finish up with those beautiful blistered tomatoes.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's gonna bring a lot of flavors. Of course, use your hands only. And a little bit of lemon zest. And some olive oil. You know, you could go crazy and put some Parmesan, but I don't really feel like it needs it. The Parmesan is in the sauce and is beautiful. So that was my 12.5-minute pasta with pesto alla genovese. This to me is the perfect way to start the summer. Cooking with just all my favorite ingredients together. And that just goes to say that you don't need 1 hour to make dinner during this quarantine. You just need some really delicious ingredients, and you just need to get going and have fun with it.